Amy, what Ginger's talking about there, by talking about the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, by talking about the Katrina example, it is the specter of Katrina right on the seventh anniversary of that storm that is actually causing a political headache here for the Romney team, because they want to make sure that as the inevitable split-screen images happen throughout the week, that they are not overtaken by these weather events and what they're trying to do here in this convention hall.
That's right. I mean, we've talked about something like a subdued pep rally, which sounds kind of strange, right? This is supposed to be the time when Republicans get to cheer and get excited about and enthusiastic about their party and their ticket, and they get to show it here. But obviously, they have to put into consideration what the rest of the country and certainly what the Gulf Coast is going through at that time. I also want to show you all what happened earlier today when the convention was officially gavelled in. Here's Reince Priebus with that big gavel telling
Republican
all of us
Convention
it's started.
In session and called to order.
And there he is. It's official. It has begun, even though, as we said, no one is actually here to witness it. But we're here. Now,
Diane Sawyer is here.
if anyone heard that voice, it might sound familiar. You can't see her yet, but I know you know who that is. Our intrepid anchor.
I came over here where the action is.
I heard. Now, Diane Sawyer has been doing more than just anchoring. You spent some time in Tampa today, and I heard you had quite a time. It involved mojitos, Cuban sandwiches.
That's what we heard.
You're going to have to dish.
What I did in front of the bar didn't require me to get behind the bar. I'm telling you, it's one of the great mojitos of my life.
Really?
And do I know mojitos? But it was so good, and it was a restaurant called Colombian. It was in the old part of Tampa. In fact, you walk in, and there was a sign outside that said Teddy Roosevelt and the Rough Riders came through here. Came through this to get this port in order to get on the boat to go into Cuba.
Oh, I thought they came through to get the mojitos. We don't know about that.
If they had known, they might have to. No, it was a wonderful restaurant. We had Cuban sandwiches, which I made in the kitchen, and it was all just a great treat. And it's such a beautiful area, and this restaurant has been in his family for years and years and years. And it's quite a family. His father was a classical violinist. His mother was a pianist at Juilliard, and they also have this restaurant downtown.
And did you find when you were talking to folks out and about today that they are keyed into this convention, that there's interest?
They're completely keyed in, and of course they all think that they could have been here and they could have been doing what they came here to do, which is true, except of course they had to be careful initially, and they respect that as well. But they cannot wait to get here and begin in earnest tomorrow night.
And do they really think this is going to help them economically? I mean, is there still
here
some
in Tampa,
here in Tampa? Yeah, was there sense
175 million, don't they think, that they're going to be
in.
bringing in from this? And 50,000 people, 15,000 of them journalists drinking mojitos.
Right, that has to help.
Yeah,
that has to help the bottom
line.
line.
Now, they've spent a lot, too, as we know. 50 million came from the government for security. They had to spend another 50 million as well. So how it nets out in the end, we'll wait and see. But, today, I think a lot of the delegates were out actually seeing more of the city than they might have done.
Without a doubt.
That's a
if
great
this
point.
had actually
Because the
been
weather here was not too terrible. I mean, intermittent rain and what have you, but it certainly wasn't.
Right. No, there's a few gusty wind bursts, but other than that, no, not bad.
Diane, so obviously when we're doing this live stream show, one of the things we like to do, we know your anchor booth is right next door to where we are, so take us behind the scenes just a little bit. So when you're here and the whole team, you arrive with an army on site to cover this big story, and then the story is actually elsewhere, and you lead the broadcast, as we just did, checked in with Ginger Z, and
right.
How does that sort of complicate your calculations in terms of putting the broadcast together and thinking about the coverage overall?
We're actually two sides of a story, because everyone here is watching everything that is happening. And our team was out. Sam Champion was out, and Ginger Z was out, and Matt Gutman was out tonight. So that we started off the broadcast tonight, and we went straight to the Gulf and we covered what was happening there, respectful that our few wind gusts here were not
nothing.
really anything by comparison. So we spent a lot of time on that, knowing that we would come back into this hall. And I talked to Speaker Boehner today, who's the chairman of the convention, and I said to him, do we have to mute the tone? We looked up at these 120,000 balloons, by the way, waiting up there, and how do you drop fewer balloons if you need to celebrate in a different climate, in a different atmosphere? And he said, those calls are going to be made really by the Romney campaign and by the RNC. Together.
And I know you also sat down with the Romney boys.
Yes,
all of
did.
those boys.
All 5.
So what did you learn from them about their dad?
I believe I can disclose this to you.
Oh.
Even though on World News, I ask everybody to go online. His big hit, his big Roy Orbison hit, is Crying, which he sings while cooking in the kitchen.
Wow.
I learned that.
I would not have guessed
Do they
that.
say he's a good singer?
They sing. They didn't give him. They didn't hold up signs, but they said he sings all the time. All the time. We talked a lot about coming into this moment after the thrills and agonies of a long campaign trail, and they said that at the end of the day, he's dad. That no matter what happens, he's just dad. And Josh said at one point, you can see him there sitting next to me, and he said the debates are so stressful that he will lie on the floor because they're so hard to watch sometimes. That's the hardest part for them. But they said that in their family, nothing compares, of course, to who they are as a family and to the moment they learned that their mom had MS. And everything else is politics. It comes, it goes. But their dad in that moment, their mom in that moment is still for them a central crucible of their lives.
And committed to the cause, though, of getting their father elected. I mean, that Josh, you were just talking about, in the first campaign, he traveled all 99 counties in Iowa. I mean, Tag has been a real senior advisor. These are they're very involved in getting their dad elected as well.
They're very involved. They seem to love the process for him. A couple of them said they didn't really think he should do it, and they weighed in and said they didn't think he should do it and go through it again, but here they are getting ready for this night.
Okay, Diane, you are.
Is this a pop quiz?
No, you have to sign in.
All right.
This is a sign-in book, and you sign with your finger, and then what is the doodle?
So you can be very creative. We're asking people to doodle something like, what does America mean to you? What, can you draw your home state? I would love to see. Can you draw Kentucky on there?
I'll tell you something.
Yes.
My stick figures are unrecognizable.
Okay, well, they will know
My
that.
family, it's renowned.
Anything that comes to mind about what this convention means.
Yes, I'm
there we
going
go.
to sign in.
And then I'm going
Okay.
to take a photograph of you while you do it.
I'm going to sign in with my whole name, right?
Yes, you. And
Only
this,
a handful of people in Kentucky will know that I'm Lila, right? And let's see if I can do this. I'm going to do it really badly.
This is good.
It's
really good.
There we
Ladies
go.
and gentlemen,
This
Diane
is
Sawyer,
the state.
drawing
This
the
is the
state
state.
of
I think that's
Kentucky.
and
And
that was
and
pretty
here's
good.
my mom.
Yeah, that's nice.
Very
and here
well
are lots
done.
of my relatives down here, and lots of my relatives over here. Actually, lots of my relatives
take
everywhere.
over
So
that.
everyone that does the show this week comes in and is a guest. They're going to sign in. We're going to build a whole slideshow online, and everyone
This
can
is
be able
fun.
to see this.
This
Yeah.
is a
be a
great
lot of
thing
fun.
to
Isn't
do.
Oh, sorry. I
yes, we need
forgot
to-
to show you guys.
I mean, that really does. Come on, everybody. That is a good Kentucky.
Yes, I think
that's.
I think that the teachers who looked appalled in kindergarten art class really have to revisit my
They
talent.
really do. You might want to go back and get your grades.
Diane Sawyer,
revisited.
thank you so much for dropping
coming
by.
in.
We
I
have
can't
such
wait
a
to
great
see
week
more.
ahead.
Yeah, you'll drop in on us. We'll drop in
That's
on you.
right. They
and
really are
George
right around the corner.
Stephanopoulos is coming in, as we know, and we're all going to get together. It's great.
Fantastic.
Thank you for
Team,
coming
love
by.
the team.
Yes, thank you.